Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the mental exercise. My name is Patricia Johnson, also known as Remarkable Queen Inspiration. So today we're doing a mental exercise, and we're doing a check-in with our youth this week. And as schools start to come back in session, these techniques and things are going to help our youth. So the first part of this segment today, we're going to be dealing with the children. And then the second part of this segment, we're going to be talking to our teenagers because it's need a lot of encouragement and a lot of empowerment. So before I get started, check in, children, how you really feeling, how you really coping, how you really dealing with certain things, and what's bothering you, what's aggravating you. And you know, a lot of times children get kind of skeptical about opening up and sharing their feelings at times. So this is a exercise, parents, guardians, and those are supporters of youth as much as I am. This will kind of help them. So the exercise we're going to do, first of all, as you can see, there's a fish on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and make my screen bigger so that you can sit here for at least about 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to look at part one and then we're going to look at part two. So I'm going to do 20 minutes of this and do the other 20 on Thursday. Okay? All right, everybody. video I wanted to share with the babies this morning, and we'll look at the rest of it on Thursday. Give me a few minutes. I got another Zoom call that's on, and I'm trying to turn it down real quick. Okay. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mental Exercise. My name is Patricia Johnson, also known as Remarkable Queen Inspiration, Queen Minister Johnson. But today we have a heart-to-heart for our babies because school's getting back in session, parents and guardians and whatnot. And these are some very tough decisions and things we're going to have with our babies. That is very different. Sorry, everybody, give me a minute. The Zoom call is on. So back to what I was saying. You got those conversations, kids, grandkids, grandbabies, and whatnot about what's getting ready to take place, and it's just very scary for those who are who are under the age 11 and under who have not been vaccinated. Like, oh, here we go with this. No, we need to have these heart-to-heart conversations because our kids are struggling. And I'm going to get into the teenagers in the next part of this segment. We got to really be honest. Like, how is my children really dealing with this whole pandemic? How is our children really doing mentally? What are some of the things that's really keeping them motivated? And TikTok has been a very high commodity, as well as Instagram, Snapchat, and all the different platforms that have been used, YouTube, all these different things. You like, the babies need to get out and get some fresh air. Indeed, they do. And I'm having these heart-to-heart conversations because we have to worry about how our child's well-being is going to be from here to the next 10 years. How their mental state is going to be. What are some of the behaviors we're looking at? We're looking at depression. We're looking at anxiety. We're looking at suicidal stuff. We're looking at mental illness at a whole nother level. And kids who've never been diagnosed with these elements are suffering right now at this very moment. Some of them seeing one-on-one counselors. They're going back in person. They're doing virtual. They're having conversations on the phone with complete strangers they never met before. We've got to really wake up and open our eyes like, man, my child all right? And most parents say, well, my baby's all right, nothing wrong with her. You don't know because invisible pain can show up in different layers. Okay? When you hide your pain, you hide your emotion, you're only convincing yourself that everything is fine. But in true reality, if you dig a little deeper, and it can be missed because a lot of times it may not even be that big, but in reality, that tiny little thing you think is not bothering your child, you'll be surprised what comes out of that child's mouth. They may use it as a funny interpretation of expressing their views. They may sit around and joke and kid and say it in a sarcastic manner, but would you dig a little deeper to find out what's really going on, you'll be surprised the outcome of the conversations, those heart-to-heart conversations you have with your children, grandkids, great-grandkids, godbabies, kids in the community. You will see that some of them are struggling with something. It may not be huge, but they're struggling with something. So the exercise that I want to share with you all today, we're going to talk about worrying today in this platform. So go ahead and share my screen, everybody. You can always watch the replay of this broadcast, but we really have to be honest with ourselves. Like, what's really going on? So here's an exercise I want to do. So this one is the worry coping card. So this here, it says, take a deep breath, stop and listen, draw your worries, favorite places, write a happy ending in a journal. So this is some of the things. Stop and listen and spend a few minutes just listening to the sounds around you. What sounds do you hear, and are they loud or soft? Pay attention to the interesting sounds you've noticed before. Take deep breaths. Breathing is slowly through your nose. Hold in air in your lungs. When you are ready to release the air, put your lips together and pretend like you are blowing through a straw. Do this for 20 minutes. Think of a place where you can feel calm, comfortable, and happy. It may be a beach, a forest, your bedroom, or somewhere else. Imagine what this place looks like and sounds like, and imagine how good you feel when you're there. Draw your worries. Draw a picture about your worries. Here are some ideas. What you look like when you are worried and when you're calm. What can you do to stop worrying? Something you are worried about. Journaling. Write about your worries using these questions to get started. What do you worry about? What do you do when you're worried? What happens the last time you worry about something? So similar. And write a happy ending. Usually when you're worried, you imagine things ending badly. Try writing about your worries, but make the ending positive. Write about how you solved the problem. Relax. Start feeling better or handling worries. So here's another exercise. You have to talk about it, think about it, get moving, listen to music, practice hobbies, and then the question mark is the unknown. Okay? So these little activities here will help you have a conversation and have a heart to heart with the babies, because a lot of times you have to start off small with little kids and beyond, because you can't have like dive in like you have with a teenager or an adult. This conversation has to be fun and exciting to kind of get them to open up, and I'm telling you, when you have those heart to heart conversations, you'll be surprised the things that have come out of you. Okay, so here's another card that basically talks about, think about what it is. When you worry, you probably think of bad thing that could happen, and trying to think it what actually happens most of the time. For example, instead of worrying, I'm worried I'm missing school. I will miss my school, but try to think I'll never miss my school bus again. You're transforming your brain from a negative perspective into a positive outcome. You have to speak that into your life, and it's hard a lot of times, but you have to really try. And when you really try, you'll see a whole different outcome. Talking about your feelings is one of the most powerful ways to control them. Tell a trusted person like a parent, friend, teacher, or counselor what you worry about. Try using this sentence to get started. I feel worried when. So this is a saying. I feel worried blank. Whatever the worry may be, you can fill in the blank from there. The next one says, listen to me. Enjoying your favorite music can take your mind off what worries you. Focus on attending on the instrument, lyrics, and voice in the song. Getting moving, get your energy out by being active. Play a sport, ride your bike, dance, swim, go for walks, or run around until you're tired. So these are some of the things you could do. Practice a hobby. Do you have anything that you think might distract you from worrying? Play an instrument, paint, practice a new skill, play a game, or do anything that you enjoy. So these are some of the techniques you can kind of use to help you deal with some of these factors, kids. Okay, so we're moving on to the next one, everybody. So we're going to move on to mindfulness exercise for children. So if anybody have any questions, you can always comment below of the broadcast about some of these different things that's going on. And two, it's really like, how would this look for my child? I hear what you're saying, Remarkable. Does it work for every child? To be honest, no. But if you try, you never know. Okay? Alright, the next slide. So the next one, we're going to talk about mindful exercise for children. The feeling exercise. Collect a number of interesting objects such as feathers or putting up stones. So this is very something to kind of keep the child mind moving. So the feeling exercise, like I said, feathers, putting rocks, or anything that might be interesting to hold. Give each child an object and ask them to spend a minute just noticing what it feels like in their hand. Then can feel the texture if their object is hard or soft, and the shape. Afterward, ask the child to describe what they feel with the bigger group, pair of kids, but basically this is a one-on-one. So try this at home, parents, and see what this does. The feeling exercise. The seeing exercise. Ask the child to spend 1 minute silent looking around the room. Their goal is to find things in the room that they never noticed. Maybe there are some big things, a poster or a picture, or just like little details like cracks in the ceiling or interesting patterns on the door. After the minute is up, ask the child to share the most interesting new things they noticed. So that's the seeing game. So they're doing, the first one they're doing is the feeling exercise, the seeing exercise, the ocean breathing. Have the child sit or lay down in a comfortable position. Ask everyone to slowly breathe in their nose and then out through their pursed lips. Also, if they are blowing through a straw, point out the slow and steady breathing sounds like ocean waves, gentle crashing, or soars. Let the children continue breathing and making the ocean sounds for 1 to 2 minutes. So that's the ocean breathing. The next one is the power of listening. Ringing a bell, a wind chime, or anything else that creates a long trailing sound. ask each other to listen. So these are different activities. They have the build a stress ball. So if you've seen some of those balls, stress balls in the stores, those are actually relievers. You stretch them with your hands, and you kind of release a lot of the things that you're doing. So for this exercise, basically tells you build a stress ball. If you're feeling brave and prepared to clean up a mess, provide a child with a balloon, flower, and funnel to build their own stress ball. You may use to double layer the balloons, some other option including rice, small beads, or leftover dots from punctual paper. Once the child has built the stress ball, they're trying to use them in the feeling exercise. So that goes back to the first part of the exercise of feeling. The next one talks about the building squeeze exercise. So have your child sit and laid in a comfortable position to ask them to squeeze and relax each muscle in their body one by one. They should hold each squeeze for about 5 seconds. So this exercise is basically telling them how to move their body and how their toes and legs and stomach and every aspect to kind of release some of that tension that's inside of them. Okay, and the 5 senses exercise is take a child outside, and weather is nice, and have them to check their senses: the sight, the smell, sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch, and have them to kind of observe this. These exercises is kind of helping your child mentally. When you do these exercises, parents, guardians, and grandparents and godparents, these are really helping your babies have a different insight about certain things that's going on with inside of them. Like I said, depression, anxiety, what else? Communication, lack of energy, mental illness, mental health, all these play a factor. And I talk about this so keenly because our babies really need this. They really need this because we're in a challenging time in our lives right now as parents and guardians, that whatever it is that we create for our kids to make it a fun, exciting environment, that helps them keep a smile on their face, and that goes for the kids as well as us adults. And I've been talking about those exercises for the last month or so since I started the mental exercise back in June. So this is really serious, everybody. We have to take heart to that. Our children really have some things they really need to deal with. So today I challenge you parents to just ask your parents, okay? And parents, I challenge you, grandparents, godparents, great-grands, ask your grandbabies, great-grandbabies, grandkids, children, nieces, nephews, whatever your role may be in those individuals' lives. Sit there and have that heart-to-heart conversation. And this time, it's not always about advice. It's about listening to what they have to say. And when you really listen to what they have to say, you'll be surprised of the answers that you may get out of them. I'm telling you, when you listen, you can have a better understanding of where you need to go and get more resources and more help and more advice from other experts to help you along dealing with your child if you don't know what to do. Okay? All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and switch tunes. We're going to go ahead and talk to the teenagers. Teenagers, I know how this goes. So we're going to switch gears, go to the teenagers. So it's a quick little video I wanted to share with the teenagers before we get started, because you know how challenging that can be. Okay? So we're going to do the teenagers' mental health. Okay?
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically... Mental illness can affect anyone. Mental health affects how we feel, think, and act. It's important at every stage of life so that we can cope with stressful situations, work productively, and make meaningful contributions to our community. However, the statistics are staggering. Over 45% of teens suffer from a mental disorder, and 1 in 5 teens suffer from a severe mental illness. That's 20% of our teen population. Mental illnesses are brain function disorders. They have many causes and result from complex interactions between a person's genes and their environment. A person struggling with mental health should not be viewed any different than if someone were experiencing a physical illness. Mental illness is not a choice or a failure. It does not discriminate. It can affect anyone, regardless of age, gender, social status, ethnicity, or any other aspect of cultural identity. In fact, mental illnesses occur at similar rates around the world, in every culture and in all socioeconomic groups. The concern with mental health isn't just about the statistics, it's about well-being. It can affect families, friends, and our communities. But you can help make a difference by learning to recognize the signs of mental illness. A mental illness makes the things you do in life hard, like work, school, and socializing. It's also not always clear when a problem with mood or thinking has become serious enough to be a concern. Sometimes a depressed mood is normal, such as when a person experiences the loss of a loved one. But if that depressed mood continues to cause distress or gets in the way of normal daily functioning, the person may benefit from professional care. If you think you or someone you know might be struggling with their mental health, it is best to consult a professional. Early identification and effective treatment is key to treating a disorder and preventing future disability. A healthcare professional will connect symptoms and experiences to help formulate a diagnosis. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for young people between 10 to 24. If you're thinking about suicide, are worried about a friend or loved one, or would like emotional support, call 1-800-273-8255.
All right. So this is the second portion of this segment of the mental exercise. So we're going to talk about the teenagers. We had just got through talking about, for those who didn't talk about our children and they're dealing with this right now. So now we're going to talk about the young people, ages 12 through 18. These are one of those difficult conversations as a parent as you watch your child, grandchild, great-grandkid grow up and become productive being men and women, and they have their rebellious stage, they have their stubborn stage, and I'm not saying all kids are like that, but if you see the behavior changing and you see certain things going on, you have the right to find out what's going on. Be the advocate for your child. Speak nothing but good things and find the help that you need for your child. There's so many teenagers right now who are struggling with depression, anxiety, communicational problems, bipolar, schizophrenic. They have mental health issues, mental illnesses, all these different factors going on. They're struggling with their self-esteem. They're struggling with their confidence. These are the heart-to-heart conversations that really takes and they use certain key words that us who are older can't really understand because we're dealing with a different generation, and they say it in codes, and those code words can be something really simple, like if a child said, "Oh, I'm just fine," and then they have that smirk on their face, and all of a sudden their eyes go back to what they're doing. Catch that. And if a child says something under their breath and you hear it and they say, "Oh, nothing," catch that. If a child says something that's really negative all the way, you really have to catch these water signs. Certain things a child and a teenager say in a negative way, and you have to catch those things, and if you catch it, you're like, whoa. It's like a slap in the face because you didn't know that's how they really feel. Because they get older, they start to really speak their truth, and some of them don't speak their truth. They do it in other ways. They may take it to social media. They may talk to people that are different ethnic groups in terms of different countries. They may get on different platforms that you weren't aware of. They may be doing stuff to get attention. These are things we have to pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen, because these are some real trying times. And I speak on this because teenagers, man, they're growing up in difficult times. And this pandemic has really shed a real insight of some things. A lot of stuff has came out since 2021. 21 and 2020. And this stuff has been going on. And for the kids who are growing up in this generations, the babies and the older ones, to see this is an eye-opener for them. They're asking questions. They're looking for answers. They want to have a resolution. They want to find a way to resolve these things. And what they're seeing on TV and public eye and things that are being presented to them is causing them to really start to question who they are as a person. They start to feel these emotions and things they never experienced before. And what they're feeling is anger, regret, doubt, fear. That word fear just has big bright letters. And when they look at these words and never experience it, they start to really dig deep into themselves. It's like, is this really what's going on with me? Is this really what's really happening? Am I really this way? Is this the way the world is brought up? Because they're not used to that kind of exposure, and y'all used to seeing this stuff is displayed in their eye because it's been shut behind closed doors. And when it's been shut behind closed doors, it's like an eye opener. They start to have questions and answers. They start to think their own way. They start to have this kind of emotion and feeling inside of them. And that's where us as parents, guardians, have to really try our best to really reach them and grab them and tell them, listen here. The life we live in is very dark and very painful. You're going to see things that you never experienced. You're going to feel things that you never felt. You're going to experience and feel and see these things happen right before your very eyes, living in this life that us as parents and guardians all didn't want them to see, but now it's all out there in the public eye. It's easy access now. It's all over the newsways. It's all over the internet. You can't hide from this stuff anymore. You can do the best to protect. And that's the best thing you can do, is protect as much as you can. Don't ever feel guilty or ever regret that you did the best you can as a parent, as a guardian, as a grandmother, auntie, or uncle, whatever your role may be in the teenager's life. You did everything. But that word regret just keeps wriggling around in your head. Child gets a certain age, they start to think, talking, and acting up. It's a sign of peer pressure. That's a sign of rebelliousness. That's a sign of denial. All these different aspects that's going on within them. So the 3 worksheets I want to share, because I'm not going to be on very long regarding this, because these are the conversations we really have to have with our teenagers. Yes, they're going to push you away and give you the stink eye and look at you looking like you're crazy, but at the end of the day, as long as you're showing that you have love and compassion and care for them, something in that mind is going to click. If you gotta still be on and get people outside the home to help you, you gotta do what you gotta do. But as long as you did the best you can to save your child. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and share these 3 worksheets with you all. I'm gonna talk about reflections. So reflections is basically communication. And communication is something that we really have to have a conversation for. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I'm going to show you what this worksheet looks like. The speaker and then the listener. So you're having a conversation. So you're talking and then you're listening. Okay? So that's what it looks like. So there's a couple examples. I hear you say that. It sounds like you feel. You're telling me that. So these are some of the things that you're reflecting. So you're the speaker and the person is the listener. So these are some of the examples I said. I hear you say that. It sounds like you feel and you're telling me that. And sometimes teenagers like to twist words around and make it seem like you're crazy, but in reality they said what they said and they're trying to make it seem like you the problem. That boy. Alright, so we have the reflection exercises. So I'm going to let you read over this very quickly. So these are a couple of practice exercises that you can kind of work on. Let that sit there for a minute for you all to kind of understand, like, oh, this is what I'm dealing with. So look at it. You can snap, you can take a picture of this, but it's some questions just and reflect on it. So the child may be the speaker, you may be the listener, but just role play and see how that works out for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you the last set of questions here. Let that sit there for you for a minute. Like I said, take a picture, whatever you need to do. You can always watch the replay of this broadcast, everybody, to get a bit of understanding what I'm talking about. Okay, let that sit there for a minute. Alright, so now we're going on to the next worksheet. So I'm just going to kind of let you look at this. I'm almost done, everybody, because I know most people say dollar marker goes on, but this has to be talked about. So we're going to talk about how I feel. So this is another exercise you can work on. So it's how I feel, and this is the different categories that you may use. And you may use different words that's presented inside that list that's different. And then when you get into that, you write about this, and then you talk about I feel this way because, and then this is what I did about it. And then the next part says something else I could have done is. So basically, these are some of the things and terminology you could use, and then these are the words at the bottom that you could have did indirectly regarding this. And I'm telling you, when you do these exercises, if you choose to, it'd be like, ooh, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna let you look at this a little bit before I go to the last worksheet for today. Okay. All right, we're going to the last worksheet for today, and then I am off the grid. This is a mindfulness meditation. So this is a meditation technique. So basically it says aim to practice daily for 15 to 30 minutes about meditation, and these are the positions that you do. Sit in a chair, straighten your back, lift your chin up, and just have those exercising techniques. This is basically good. So we're going to talk about times and places. It talks about posture. It talks about awareness of breathing. It talks about wandering minds. And it's also, these are some of the categories for the adolescents, okay? So these are something that you can kind of use or share with them to kind of help them get their stuff together on a day-to-day routine, everybody. So I just wanted to share that with you all today on this platform. I just hope this all really makes a lot more sense now as I share this with you all today. I hope you all have an amazing and a wonderful Tuesday morning. I'll be back here on Thursday to continue to talk about our children. We're going to finish up the video with the fishes. We did 20 minutes, so we're going to finish the remaining of the video. 2 worksheets, have a heart-to-heart again, and then the youth are going to have 2 worksheets and a heart-to-heart, but no video. Okay? So my name is Remarkable Queen of Inspiration. Have an amazing and a wonderful day. So let you look at this worksheet just one more time before I end this slide. All right, everybody. I love you all. Have an amazing and a blessed Tuesday. I will see you back here on Thursday. Wednesday, I'll be doing Bible study on True Salt 1000 Facebook page, IG, as well as On Time Ministries platform and YouTube. So make sure, ladies, you tune in at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening with Minister Johnson. The topic is satisfied of his love. We'll be talking about compassion, and then we're going to go down the line each month, the fourth Wednesday of each month. But this Wednesday, because I had something else going on at that time, is 8 p.m. Next month, it'll be back at 7 p.m. for Bible study, okay? So make sure you tune into that, ladies. I love every one of you all. Continue to keep Minister Johnson, Remarkable Queen Inspiration, Queen in prayer as always. Still have my ups and downs. Not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. Every day is not perfect. Not always happy. Not always bubbly. I don't fake the fun on this platform, and I don't sugarcoat it. I keep it 100 with y'all. I had a trying day yesterday in terms of grief. It happens to the best of us. I don't lie about my grief. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm happy all the time when I'm not. Most of us have to really be honest, and I'm very honest with you all. I have my days. Okay? Just keep me in prayer. Keep me in prayer. Okay? I love you all. Have an amazing and a blessed Tuesday. God bless you.